Full and uncut versions available on Patreon. Check in the description below.
Greetings once again, Pokemaniacs. Duuz-Diz-Din back again with more of the Pokemon Adventures manga, where previously, after Sapphire's defeat of Broly, a massive rumbling happens in the Granite Cave, where Ruby was last seen. As she goes racing over, she finds Ruby perfectly okay. He says it's all thanks to a man named Steven, with Sapphire immediately realizing that Ruby ended up meeting the very Steven that Sapphire was trying to give the letter from Mr. Stone to, because of the ambush by Team Aqua. So Sapphire drags Ruby along, back through the sea route in order to track down Steven. As they travel, they come upon an abandoned ship, where Ruby meets Plusle and Minun, two Pokemon who are guarding something that their previous owner was desperate to keep hidden. Hidden from who? Well, they show up, as if on time. None other than members of Team Magma, Courtney and Tabitha, admins of Team Magma. Both Courtney and Tabitha individually managed to get the jump on Sapphire and Ruby, and with both their Pokemon being taken out by very different events, Sapphire and Ruby must team up with Plusle and Minun in order to get the jump on the members of Team Magma. While Team Magma is able to get what they were after, a scanner, a specific component to what, we don't know just yet. But Ruby offers a trade, as he dangles the journal that has some codes for the scanner over the ocean. The trade is made, but Sapphire and Ruby have some interesting tactics in order to escape, only for them to realize they've been bamboozled when they're away. All they got was the outer case of the scanner. Though while to a certain degree they've grown a little bit closer, they would never admit it to each other. Ruby and Sapphire go their separate ways, leaving behind Plusle and Minun, who I guess just live in the abandoned ship now. Ruby tries to go to his very first Pokemon contest, meeting up with the Hoenn branch leader of the Pokemon fan club, who is extremely eccentric, but does try to help him enter. Unfortunately, Ruby has to go a couple towns over in order to actually register for the Hoenn Pokemon contest circuit, which is very unnecessary travel. It's just like, man, he still hasn't actually been in his first Pokemon contest. It has been 2 volumes. Either this kid is just gonna sweep the competition, or maybe Pokemon contests aren't all they cracked up to be. I don't know. I really just don't have the greatest memories of them way back when the games first came out, so I don't know. Yeah, I played the original games and Pokemon contests just were not my bag. But who knows? Maybe now I'd have a greater appreciation for him. So in order to cheer himself up and get the chairman to stop yelling at people, Ruby and the chairman go over to make some Pokeblocks, and they end up doing so with a couple of, local workers, Captain Stern and Mr. Doc, only for them to be ambushed by the same members of Team Magma Ruby encountered previously. But because they encountered each other in the dead of night, the members of Team Magma can't identify Ruby. They're also there with another member, another admin called Blaze, who specifically ends up interrogating Captain Stern, all in an effort to gain information about what Captain Stern has been working on, the Submarine Explorer 1, specifically how to get it up and running. It needs a component from the Devon Corporation. Ruby, not wanting to have Team Magma get their way, ends up luring Blaze into the submarine and having it launched off, isolating Ruby and Blaze away from everyone else, where Ruby is ready to get serious. What'll happen next? Join me as I find out, won't you? Alright, Pokemon Adventures Ruby and Sapphire Arc, Volume 17, and we're deep in it, and this time we have the cover page with our newly evolved Combustion and Marshtomp, as well as none other than Groudon, looking kinda fierce. See, it's funny. Groudon in some angles looks a little stupid, but also kinda cool. And I remember first seeing it when the game loaded up and you see it just roaring to life and stuff. I don't know. I have great memories of Groudon. Nice little page where we have Sapphire and her 2 badges And then there's Ruby with his no ribbons. Watch, I'm going to be shocked when he's just dominating the contest circuit. Alright, it's chapter 202, Slugging It Out with Slugma, part 2. Ruby gives a sigh as he looks over to Marshtomp, who gives a nod. And so Ruby gets serious, glaring at Blaze, while Marshtomp gets itself ready. Blaze is on guard, questioning, "Who are you?" Meanwhile, back up above, Captain Stern is with Mr. Doc and the Pokemon Fan Club chairman. Captain Stern shouts, "Submarine Explorer's auto drive function is kicked in." The chairman questions, "Did Ruby do that to lure that thug away from us?" As the sub submerges, Slugma battles against Marshtomp. And is that a good idea, though? I mean, you can't really go all out in here. Well, one thing, oxygen. Another thing, well, it should have functions in order to keep oxygen at a good level, but you don't want to damage the submarine. The Slugma's battling out with Marshtomp, and Blast says, "Ha, you're quite a skilled trainer, aren't you? I can tell. Although I don't understand why you were hiding your skills instead of using them. Whatever. Let's see if your skills can handle this." And he has Slugma unleash a torrent of magma that starts to spread across the floor, burning everything it touches. Both Marshtomp and Ruby backing up as far as they can and really feeling the heat. It's only a matter of time before their legs start to sizzle along with the rest of them, and all the glass instruments around the place starts to shatter because of the heat. Which makes me wonder, Blast, how are you surviving this? Or is it because of Slugma's control of his abilities? Regardless, Blast mocks them, saying, "Hot, isn't it? But you know, there's more." Oh, what the heck? I think because of the intense heat, and is it like the waving of Slugma's eyebrows? Ruby's vision starts to go. Blast then says, "Do you know the story of The Little Match Girl by Hans Christian Andersen?" Which, Japanese people love that story for some reason. It always comes up in so many stories that I read, or anime that I watch. And not a lot, but enough that I've really started to notice it. It's about a poor little girl who sells matches to survive. When she's really down and out, she lights her matches and sees visions in the flame. "Oh, my fires are like that. It's as hot as it can get in here. And the heat will make you see things that aren't really there." And suddenly, like ethereal flame entity seems to form and strike out at Ruby. Ruby running from it, dodging, and seemingly being shattered by it, which kid's tripping. Ruby screams in terror and is left shaken. Blythe saying, "It's really something, isn't it? Illusions created out of a flickering flame." That is why everybody calls me Blast the Illusionist. Yeah. Mirages through intense heat. That is a thing. Meanwhile, back up above, Captain Stern is tended to by the chairman. He says, "I'm sorry I got you involved in all this." The chairman says, "It's not your fault. I'm just worried about Ruby." Meanwhile, Mr. Doc is at the controls. The chairman asks, "Can't you recall that submarine?" Mr. Doc slams his hand on the control panel, saying, "It's no use. It's broken." Captain Stern then questions, "What are those men after anyway? Why do they want Submarine Explorer 1? The chairman then says, "I got it. I just thought of a plan." Captain Stern and Mr. Doc are all ears. The chairman says, "You said the submarine won't be completed without that core component thingy. Since they need that component to make it work properly, all you need to do is cancel the manufacturing of that part. Then no matter what they're after, they'll never be able to get it. Well, what do you think?" Well, Captain Stern and Mr. Doc look at each other, and Captain Stern simply says, "Actually, the component is already made." The chairman is taken aback, saying, "What?" Captain Stern explains, "The Devon Corporation's President Stone was going to personally deliver it the other day, but..." Oh, that's what they stole. No, it was Team Aqua who stole the component. Huh. Okay. So they're going to come to a head. According to the news, he was attacked by a wild Pokémon while taking his daily stroll. He's still unconscious at the hospital. The component is something President Stone developed on his own in secrecy. No one else at the company even knows of its existence, which leads to the question, how did Team Aqua know to steal it? To tell the truth, we have no idea where it is right now. Meanwhile, back aboard the sub, Ruby is still tripping, seeing illusions which take the form of, him being little and his dad's slacking, just grabbing him? Is this any intense training that he went through? Little Ruby think, Dad, I love it when you teach me how to Pokemon battle. Dad, I want to get stronger. Dad. Then everything suddenly shatters, as it's almost like Ruby loses consciousness on his feet. Blaze says, delusions got the best of him. I don't know what he saw inside the fire, but whatever it was, it must be his worst nightmare. But suddenly Ruby laughs. That was a mistake. Flash is shocked as Ruby tells him, I'm sure this attack is very effective against other people. I did see my worst nightmare like you said. But my worst nightmare is also my best memory. It's what keeps me going, he says with determination. He shouts out to Marshtomp, who, comes to with his best memory. I mean, yeah, it's like he wanted to be a Pokemon trainer. I wonder what changed. He has Marshtomp use Earthquake, which shakes, rattles, and rolls the submarine. Literally, the submarine goes into a barrel roll. As Blast says, are you crazy? You're going to sink this submarine with us inside it. As everyone gets jostled, Ruby says, more moo-moo. And Marshtomp goes with another earthquake, sending everyone flying and crashing into the walls, including Ruby. But as Ruby hits one wall, he notices some kind of hatch. He then, still with his arms tied, mind you, recalls Marshtomp saying, come back, Moo-Moo. Blast notices that Ruby's at an emergency exit, and as the emergency exit hatch closes, Ruby says, by the way, you asked me how I was able to tell that your Slugma was quiet-natured. My question to you is why can't you tell things like that? Blast questions, what? And just before the hatch completely closes, Ruby tells him, I can sense the nature of a Pokemon from its moves and body language, even if we've just met. If you pay careful attention to them, I'm sure you could too. And so the escape hatch rockets to the surface, while Ruby laments, at least that's what I was taught by my father. Meanwhile, back aboard Submarine Explorer 1, Bless uses his Poke Gear to contact Archie, saying, contact Maxie, saying, boss, I got Submarine Explorer 1. And I found out what the problem is. It's missing some sort of special core component made by the Devon Corporation. As soon as we install that, we'll be able to get to the lowest depths of the Hoenn Sea and the sea floor cavern. Alright, so in our map, Ruby has returned to Slateport City. He should be on his way, while Sapphire should be on Route 110. I wonder if we'll pick up with her next. It's funny though, we made such a big thing about Ruby's abilities, and yeah, we see them on full display, but though Ruby is very skilled, he's now encountering also other skilled opponents. And while he's able to get the best of them in certain situations, it's not a complete domination. Alright, chapter 203. I'm your biggest fan, Dawn fan. We pick up on Route 110. Sapphire making her way, still looking at the letter she still has yet to deliver. She goes, what should I do? This Steven guy is split from Dewford Town already. I'm gonna have to find him. But come to think of it, I don't have a clue where he went. She looks back to her Pokemon, who are also kind of like, kid, I don't know. She makes her way down, saying, guess I'll just have to start from scratch by visiting all the gyms until I get some intel on him. He comes upon the introductory sign saying, welcome to Mauville City. This is Mauville City, huh? I wonder where the gym is. She makes her way through the grass, noticing something, and gets down sniffing at it, saying, what's this? The ground here feels different. She then knocks on the ground. I guess it's feeling hollow, which she thinks about for a moment, and then goes for a punch, which sends her plummeting through the ground. Like it's some kind of hatch? Much to the shock of her Pokemon. Yep, it's a hatch. It flipped around, and now she's dangling from the grass, and it's just sees in and sees nothing but darkness. She questions, what is this place? It's cold and dark. And then goes for a swing, saying, okay, alley-oop, and manages to swing her way back right side up to top side. right onto her booty. Says, ow, what was that? Suddenly, she hears some weird squeaking as a wooden robot approaches her. What the hell is this? And the wooden robot it is ready to throw hands, literally, as it launches its hands? Sapphire questioning, hey, what's going on? She manages to, okay, I thought it was a big robot, but it's more like her size. And its mechanical hands, she manages to just swat away. Like, what the? Suddenly, there's a whole horde of these human-sized mechanical robots approaching, just firing off their hands towards her and her Pokemon. They run off when suddenly a tree-like one just sprouts up all of a sudden that she accidentally grabs onto. And this one is massive, with like spider legs and little pincher claws that grab her and her Pokemon. She says, hey, let me go. And it rushes off with her, places her onto a conveyor belt that puts her onto a minecart, which sends them flying into another contraption, which puts her and her Pokemon into a net, like a friggin' Rube Goldberg machine. What the heck is this? Watson? Voice calls out, we'll be waiting for your next challenge. And suddenly Watson and, who the heck is this? The Trickmaster? Oh, he's very different in the anime. And he's in the game too. Runs the Trick House. I don't remember this at all. The Trick House? It says it was in Ruby and Sapphire. I don't remember this. Even in terms of the anime, he doesn't look familiar. No, this is not ringing a bell at all. Weird. No. Then again, I don't think I remember Watson either. Yeah, Yeah, I don't remember much of it. It's weird how little I remember of a lot of the Hoenn gym leaders. Or maybe it's weird that I remember so much of the other gym leaders. I don't know. Regardless, Watson and Trickmaster, who has mechanical wooden legs, come bursting out of a bush. Watson saying, ha ha, you did it, Tricky! Well, Trickmaster says, yes, I did, Waddy. Even that mischievous Donphan was no match for my gadgets. Watson laughs. You were so glad to get your Donphan. And Gad? Oh, Gadget. Okay, I get it. And then he looks over, seeing Sapphire in the capture net, and Donphan promptly destroying Trickmaster's inventions. Sapphire yells, what is it with people thinking I'm a Pokemon? I'm human, hey! you talk like Meow. I want to put Donphan in my favorites. I do like Donphan. Nah, I'm good. I do like Donphan, though. Yeah, I'm gonna put him in. I like Donphan. Again, Ash went a long way to getting me to like Donphan. So I'm gonna take it. I like Donphan. So me, I like Donphan. I think he's neat. I think it's cool. Donphan goes running off. Watson saying, I'm sorry, terribly sorry. Trickmaster says, we were only trying to capture that Donphan over there. Watson says, I'm Watson, and this is Tricky. He's famous around here. People call him the Trick Master. Sapphire is a bit befuddled, saying, I don't get this town at all. I was attacked by Whatsits, and before that, the ground flips over, and I almost fell into an underground cave or something. Watson says, the ground flipped over. Sapphire says, what are you so excited about? Isn't that your Whatsit? Trickmaster says, no. The only Whatsit gadgets I made was the one to catch that Donphan. Trickmaster and Watson look at each other. Trickmaster saying, could this be it, Waddy? Watson says, I think so, Tricky. It seems you stumbled into the entrance to the legendary underground city of New Marville. It's been hidden for generations. Sapphire says, so what's so special about it? Watson laughs, not a clue. It's an underground city, so it's beyond our understanding. And Sapphire just sighs. Oh, that was the end of the chapter? What? What a weird chapter. Okay. I'm so weird. I'm so weirded out by this. Alright, chapter 204. Plugging past Electrike. New Marville. I don't... Again, something else I don't remember. New Marvel, yeah, what? Yeah, nothing about this place is ringing a bell. Man, was I just zooming past Ruby and Sapphire? I don't know why I'm not remembering any of this. Okay, we cut to Sapphire sniffing about for the entrance as Watson says, "Where is it? Come on, little girl, tell us, where is it?" Sapphire says, somewhere around here? Yeah, there it is. Watson questions, here? So this is some kind of door? Sapphire looks back saying, "That's right." Trickmaster says, "We've been looking for this entrance for years. Hurry up and open it." Sapphire says, "Okay." And she hits the hatch and it flips over, saying, "Yeah." Much to the astonishment of Watson and Trickmaster, Sapphire then asks, "But what's the story behind this underground city anyway?" Watson goes to answer saying, "Well, when suddenly a whole bunch of kids just run up with their Pokemon saying, 'Watson, we challenge you.'" Watson says, "Here you are. Okay, come and get it." And he sends out his Electrike and his couple of Magnemite, who immediately down all of the kids' Pokemon. The kids say, "You're too strong, Watson. No wonder. He's a gym leader. He can't be beaten that easy." Sapphire is aghast, saying, "Huh? Yeah, gym leader?" Watson laughs, saying, "That's right. If you want to beat a gym leader, you're going to have to get a lead on me." Oh, I get it. It's a pun. I read that. I'm like, wait, what? Oh, man, his puns are so bad, I'm not even registering them when I read them. But your attacks were pretty good. Here you go. Yes, your Dynamo badges. He just handed them out like candy. What the heck? The kids are all like, "Yay, hooray!" Well, Sapphire is once again aghast, saying, "Hey, what do you think you're doing?" Then she grabs him by the arm. Watson says, "What? I'm giving the gym badges as proof of their participation in the gym battle." Sapphire says, "Gym battle? You call that a gym battle?" Watson says, "That's right. I'm the gym leader of Marville City. My motto, challenge me anytime, anywhere. Anyone may challenge me whenever they want to. And that counts as a gym battle." Sapphire is like, it's almost like she's throwing a tantrum. One of those moments that make me think, "Oh yeah, she is a child." Saying, "But what about winning and losing?" Watson tells her, "By the authority vested in me by the Pokemon Association, I may give out badges as I see fit." Which, true enough, because we see that plenty of times in the anime. It's just that the manga has actually adhered to, beat gym leaders, get gym badges a little bit more closely than the anime has, at least in the beginning. Then again, you had Silver just steal all the badges. I don't think we ever actually had a proper gym battle. Also says, "Those kids had pizzazz. I don't see anything wrong with giving them badges. If you have the gumption to badger me, I'll be happy to badge you." That's a joke, by the way. And then he notices Sapphire looking dejected. He reaches out with what's it called again? The Dynamo badge, saying, "Do you collect badges too? That's great. Here, you just earned your Dynamo badge for finding the entrance to the underground city for us." Sapphire slaps the badge out of his hand, saying, "Are you kidding? I'm gonna be a master Pokemon trainer. No way am I gonna accept that badge without a proper battle. You might be okay with it, but I ain't." And that, honestly, I get it. I get it, kid. Watson, though, is kind of like, "Aren't you serious, young lady?" He then realized what she did, saying, "Oh no, I slapped the badge away." Trickmaster watches it fly through the air, saying, "That can't be good." As it nails the Donphan right in the head. He is pissed. It stabbed into his head. Ugh. He glares at them, and they realize what's about to come as it chases them down right into the hatch of New Marvel. As Trickmaster says, "It's coming right on us." They hit the hatch and they fall into New Marvel along with the Donphan. Sapphire, capture the Donphan. Capture the Donphan. Everybody's knocked out from the fall. I mean, at least they survived. Sapphire regains consciousness, going, "Ow. Hey, are you alright? Hang in there." As she tries to awaken the Donphan and Trickmaster, who says, "Ow." Trickmaster and the Donphan awaken, and The Dawn fan rams into Trickmaster. Trickmaster, with his wooden mechanical legs, kicks at the Dawn fan, saying, "You want a piece of me? Take this and this." Well, Sapphire says, "Stop it, will you?" Trickmaster says, "Ah, yes, of course. I finally made it to the underground city of New Marville." He pulls on a lever on his little mechanical legs, saying, "Lights on!" And wooden spotlights come out. Like, goddamn. So I guess we're not seeing the trick house in this, as he illuminates the underground city, and it looks very futuristic. Then again, I don't think we ever saw an outside perspective of New Marville. There's no pictures of an outside perspective of New Marville aside from what you see in the manga. The anime has, it just kind of looks like a very plain looking building. Yeah. And okay, about as good as it's gonna get. Welcome to the world of the future today. As Trickmaster illuminates the futuristic city, Sapphire looks around in awe, saying, in awe, as Trickmaster says, "We did it, right, Waddy?" "Oh, where's Waddy?" Sapphire says, "He's gone." She then shouts at Trickmaster, "I think it's about time you explain everything to me before I start looking for the old coat. What's the deal with this underground city, anyway?" Trickmaster tells her, "Very well. As I told you, the city of New Marville was said to be constructed by our ancestors, but we were never able to prove its existence until now. Nobody knows why the city was built, but we have a hypothesis." Sapphire asks, "And what's that?" Trickmaster says, "What did you see before we fell down here? Children, right? Lots and lots of children. Marville City has a great number of young people. But since the city is so small, we've always had a shortage of playgrounds and whatnot. Our ancestors might have had the same problem. This seems to have been their solution. Both Watty and I love children. This is exactly what we were hoping to discover." Sapphire says, "I get it. So you two want to investigate the secret behind this underground city, right? In that case," Trickmaster asks, "in that case?" Sapphire taps her chest, saying, "I'll help you however I can, and that can substitute for my gym battle." "Aw, I can't accept the badge without doing something. Is that okay with you, Mr. Watson? Answer me if you can hear me." As she screams into the darkness, it echoes, and Watson responds, "Sure, sounds great. How could you come down here right away?" I love how the Dawn fan is just along for the ride. Sapphire and Trickmaster smile to each other, and they and the Dawn fan, who again is just along for the ride, go running to where Watson's voice came out. I guess the Dawn fan's just like, "I have no idea where I am. I might as well just follow you people." Sapphire says, "He's over there." And they notice 3 figures moving towards them. Trickmaster says, "It's Waddy's Electrike and Magnemite." Oh, and then they all hit the ground. Well, Magnemite do. Sapphire says, "What the?" Trickmaster asks, "What's the matter?" Sapphire brings out her Pokédex. And yeah, I can't read that small text. But Sapphire says, "Magnemite can't fly if their internal electrical supply is depleted." Trickmaster says, "So you mean these Magnemite had their electricity sucked out by something or somebody?" Watson calls out, "That's right, and it's still happening." Sapphire picks up the Magnemite and follows Electrike, saying, as Trickmaster asks, "Where are you, Waddy?" Sapphire saying, "Take me to him, Electrike." As Electrike rounds the corner, they see, I have no idea what that is. Watson is connected to it alongside Electrode, Voltorb, and Electrode. Are those his Pokemon, or did they just get caught up in it? As Watson says, "The generator is out of control." And the generator then looks to Sapphire and the others and attacks. What the heck? Why is the generator alive? Okay, this is really weird. Was this always in the underground city? I'm really at a loss. And I really don't understand this place. Chapter 205, Plugging Past Electrike, Part 2. The generator zaps out at Sapphire, who dodges out of the way, grabbing Trickmaster, getting him out of the way too. Trickmaster says, "It's a huge generator, and it's using the electricity it generates to attack us." The generator looks over in their direction and rises up. Did the generator just grow legs? Trickmaster says, "Oh my, it's not just a generator then. Pretty sneaky." I too can play at that game, you know? And Trickmaster just unleashes all the weird things he has in his mechanical legs, with Sapphire holding it up for some reason. And she says, "What are you doing?" I love the Donphan just being like, "Yeah, dude, I don't even know." And the generator just zaps out at them as they all go running. Watson's still stuck to it. This is the most kooky story arc possible. So it's kind of reminiscent of the old days, before everything became so plot relevant. Trickmaster says, "I don't think I can beat it." Sapphire saying, "That's what I was saying. So what do we do now?" What happened? What's going on? Suddenly, Sapphire and the others are turned? Like they're doing the Michael Jackson lean all of a sudden. Sapphire says, "What the? What's going on? I can't run straight." Trickmaster saying, "It feels like I've got motion sickness or something." He pulls out an abacus? That's what it's called, right? And crunches some numbers saying, it must be because of the magnetic field. The electricity emanating from that machine is creating a distorted magnetic field that's throwing off our sense of balance, which, okay, I don't think that's how that would work, but I don't know science like that, so even Donphan's kind of thrown out of whack. And she sees this saying, "What's the matter?" "Oh, I get it. You sense the change in the magnetic field, don't you? You wanted to warn us. That's why you were causing all that trouble." Oh. The Donphan was trying to ward people away from what was going on. Trickmaster says, "Come to think of it, the spot this Donphan was running around was right above the generator." Sapphire brings out the Pokédex reading, "Donphan, the armored Pokémon. Donphan's favorite attack is curling its body into a ball, then charging at its foe while rolling at high speeds. Once it starts rolling, this Pokemon can't stop very easily." Sapphire says, "Donphan is a Pokemon who curls its body up and rolls to move. I bet it sensed the change in the electromagnetic field." Oh, I guess that's Trickmaster saying that. And then it says, "But we're in even bigger trouble now. The electric attacks are terrifying enough as it is, but we can't even stand upright." Sapphire says, "Don't give up. We have to save Mr. Watson at least." It looks like he's in pain being stuck to the mobile generator. Freaking Gigantor legs. Trickmaster calls back, "That's right. We'll save you, Waddy," as they dodge another electric blast, which sends them flying. Everybody hits the ground hard except Sapphire, who managed to go into a recovery stance. As the generator looms, Watson says, "I'm sorry, Tricky." Trickmaster says, "Don't you worry. I have tons of tricks up my sleeve. I'll figure out a way to stop that rogue generator." He crunches some more numbers on his abacus, which is connected to is it like connected to a computer in his little mobile wooden tank leg thingy? What the heck? Okay. This goofy, Trickmaster says, "I've got it. The machine has two functions. Absorb, which not surprisingly absorbs its opponent's electricity, and discharge, which releases the absorbed electricity as an attack." Sapphire says, "Absorb and discharge." Austin says, "Makes sense, Tricky. I hypothesize that I am being held here because this machine is reacting to the energy of my electric-type Pokemon." He looks over to his Voltorb, or Electrode. I always get that mixed up. Sapphire says, "Okay then. If it's repeating its moves like absorb, discharge, that means it's going to absorb after it discharges, right? Then, when it starts to absorb again, that's our chance to rush it." Trickmaster says, "I understand what you mean, but are you sure that's possible?" Sapphire says, "Of course it is." And as we see the generator go for absorption, ready to discharge, Sapphire addresses Electrike and Donphan, saying, "Now, Mr. Gym Leader, I'm going to borrow your Electrike for a second, okay?" And as the generator discharges, Sapphire says, "Go, go, go!" The electric attack comes in, and Sapphire and the Donphan rush in, Donphan doing a rollout. The electric attack, though, seems to direct itself towards Electrike, who I think is using its tail as a lightning rod. Yep, and it hits Electrike's tail. Trickmaster saying, "Of course, Electrike's ability is lightning rod. It'll force all electric-type attacks to strike it. You can use that opportunity to charge at the enemy. What a great combination attack." And so Sapphire and Donphan rush in. Donphan managing to strike at the generator while Sapphire gets Watson away. And the generator now has a massive dent in it from Donphan, and its mechanical eye rolls back and it just hits the ground. Donphan and Sapphire give a high five, well, high trunk on Donphan's case. Sapphire saying, I'm really glad you were here. Your ground type Pokemon have a good advantage over electric types. Trickmaster then kicks the generator with his mechanical leg, saying, what kind of madman would create such an annoying machine? The generator then gets up, and a recording voice comes out saying, I wanted to play. Trickmaster recoils back, and there's something in the back. Sapphire says, there's something inscribed here. Lawson and Trickmaster examine it, saying, what? It reads, my dear unknown descendants of the future, this gadget is my invention. If you ever find this place, which, if you're reading this, you must have, feel free to push the red button and play to your heart's content. Sincerely, Mr. Trick, genius. Mr. Trick? Trickmaster says, you mean the man who built this generator? Not to mention New Marvel is... Lawson says, your ancestor, dear Tricky? And so they press the red button. The generator seems to come back to life and activate. And it's rides. It's a freaking amusement park. Trickmaster says, oh, the entire city has turned into an enormous playground. Waddy? Tricky! Watson says. And then a few days later, oh, is it like they turned New Mauville into the trick house? Trickmaster says, you were right after all. Watson says, yes, New Mauville really was a huge amusement park for children, just as we thought. Oh, no, it's Watson who says you were right after all. Well, Trickmaster says, yes, New Mauville really was a huge amusement park for children, just as we thought. My ancestor was a remarkable man, wasn't he? And Watson says, uh-huh, and I insist that you show your gratitude to him. Oh god, these puns. And as kids are playing all across New Mauville, Trickmaster turns to Sapphire saying, that was a horrible pun. But at least now we won't have to worry about your city being too small anymore. Watson turns to Sapphire saying, thanks a lot, Sapphire. Sapphire says, anytime. Besides, I made a new friend here. Too, right, Fado? Oh, she did get the Donphan! Yes! Yes! Donphan! That's what I'm talking about! About time they started growing up their teams. It's still weird to me that they have so few Pokemon. Oh, Donphan is now in their party, and with a new Dynamo badge on her bag. Sapphire rides her Donphan, hell yeah! Saying, alright then, let's go! And she takes off with her Pokemon. Watson and Trickmaster waving them off. 57 days left until the deadline. Wait, 57 days? Wait, how much time has passed? I thought, what was the last count? Hold on. What was the last count? Yeah, it was 60 days. Okay, a few days have passed. Alright, well, alright then. So happy she got a new Pokemon. And it's level 39? Jeebus. Also, Kabuskin gained a few levels. That's good. Wailord is still the big chonker of the group, but dang, okay. Man, how is it that she always just happens to just obtain these higher level Pokemon? It's just like, wait, what? Oh man. Again, Sapphire just steadily progressing, and Ruby not progressing at all. Alright, so Sapphire and Mauville City making her way, and Ruby still in Slateport? What? How is he still in Slateport? Or is that just where we last left off with him? I guess we'll see. Alright, chapter 206, Not So Fetching Feebas, which I feel like I know where a lot of this is headed. I gotta say, that stuff with Watson was, gee, okay. Wait, he's still under... Oh my goodness. Oh, okay then. We pick up with the escape hatch, and Ruby's still inside with his Marshtomp. Marshtomp, with the fin on his head, manages to detect. I guess they're nearing the surface. Yep, sure enough, the escape hatch finally surfaces. Ruby has the jankiest way of getting around possible. He opens the hatch to the escape pod thingy, saying, I wonder how far we traveled. He sees himself on the outskirts of something, and he sees himself in an open waterway, saying, wait, this is Route 118? Yeah, I have no idea how far away from where he previously was that is. Hold on. Okay, so he completely bypassed Mauville, which I guess makes sense. He wasn't really trying to be in Mauville. Does Mauville have... It probably has a Pokemon contest scene. No. It doesn't. Okay, yeah. So he had no reason to be in Mauville, as far as I could tell. Oh, but no, I think he's on the wrong side of things, right? Where? Crap, I forget. Where do he need to go in order to register? Oh no, I'm turned around. I'm so bad with directions. But Ruby says, the submarine got this far while I was fighting that guy inside? I hope the president, Captain Stern, and Mr. Doc are all right. He then sees a news report on in a cafe that he passes by. Oh, he uses his glasses to see, with Gabby reporting, an unknown person or persons have broken into the shipyard at Slateport City. We're live on the scene to report on the theft of Submarine Explorer Number 1. According to Captain Stern, a group of thugs wearing red uniforms attacked the shipyard. Captain Stern, the supervisor, Mr. Doc, and some civilians were involved as well. We've also learned that one of the civilians is a young boy, but details are unclear. Ruby thinks, yikes, they're making a pretty big deal out of it. But I guess it is a big deal. That stolen submarine was about to be used for an undersea exploration of the Hoenn region. So what do I do now? If I continue on my journey, the president and the others won't know that I'm safe. Can I go back to Slateport? No, I can't do that. Then I'll be on the news again, and Dad will find out where I am. He thinks of his dad restraining him. I'm sorry, Mr. President. You were the first person who really understood me in Hoenn. I promise I'll come back to see you once I fulfill my dream. I have a dream of becoming a champion of Pokemon contest. We then pick up at Ruby's home where his mother, who I will still call Caroline, Sweet Caroline, bum bum bum. That's the name, right? Yep, Sweet Caroline. Laments over a picture of Ruby saying, Ruby, oh, when are you going to come home? Norman went looking for you and he hasn't come back either. When are we going to live together as a family? She then sees the news report, Gabby saying, we have exclusive surveillance footage of the boy involved in the robbery. He entered the submarine with the mysterious intruder. Shortly thereafter, they both disappeared into the depths of the sea. Ah, Ruby, you should have seen the rest of the report. They have your face. And Caroline promptly passes out. Oh boy. Just wait till he goes to space. He's the one that goes to space, right? I think. Also, spoiler alert, as Ruby is making his way down the river in the freaking escape pod, he says, this escape pod is pretty handy. I'll ride it until I get close to a town or something. But suddenly the escape pod is jostled, and then he hears a scream. He goes, what? Oh, as he's tangled up in a fisherman's line. The fisherman says, dude, you totally ruined my fishing tackle. Oh, he had 3 fishing lines out. Yes, the fishing lines are tied around his escape pod. The swimmer says, well, what are you going to do about it? Ruby says, sorry? The fisherman says, sorry won't cut it. You're going to stay here and help me fish. Ruby says, what? But I'm in a hurry. The swimmer says, seriously? You're just going to walk away after the mess you've made? Ruby thinks, great. Now I've gotten myself mixed up with this weirdo. I'll help him out for a little while, then I'll talk my way out of this. How do you keep ending up in these situations, dude? Ruby moors his escape pod saying, so what do you want me to do? Swimmer says, good, that's more like it. Here, take this fishing rod. Oh, is this how it happens? Really? The weird chain of events. The swimmer says, all you have to do is drop the line in the water. I'm sure you won't be catching the Pokemon after any time soon, but 2 lines are better than 1. Oh, so he's trying to catch a specific Pokemon. Suddenly, he gets a pull on his line, pulls it up, and pulls out a Feebas. For some reason, I thought there were variations on Feebas. Maybe. I'm not sure. And he thinks, what is this thing? I've never seen a Pokemon before, and it's unbelievably ugly. First time I've heard him actually say a Pokemon is ugly. Usually, he just kind of beats around the bush before he gets there. He goes, yuck. He thinks this can't be the Pokemon he's after and throws it back. The fisherman says, hey, look, I'm sorry I shouted at you. I've been here for 10 days straight without any luck. You can imagine how frustrated I am. Ruby gets another catch, and it's another Feebas saying he thinks, this one again? Bye-bye. The fisherman says, if I could only get my hands on this Pokemon. Ruby pulls up another Feebas thinking, ew, again? And throws it back. The fisherman says, the important thing is fishing is knowing where to sink your line. Once you find the right spot, it's a piece of cake. Ruby gets another Feebas and thinks, will you cut it out? And throws it back. The fisherman then reaches inside his bag saying, it's not exactly the best looking Pokemon, but it is really rare. Look here. It's called a Feebas, and it looks like this. And he pulls up the picture next to the Feebas Ruby is holding. They both go, huh? The fisherman says, yeah, that's it. Don't let it slip away. And he goes for Ruby. He drops the Feebas. Oh, man. Oh, and it goes right into the water. The fisherman scrambles with the rod, saying, where did you catch it? Where was it, here or here? Ruby goes, let me think. Maybe it was here? I don't remember. Oh, and he doesn't notice that his Pokénav falls into the water. Yeah. Oh, snap. Yeah, it sinks in. And the swimmer saying, you idiot! Later, he says, it's no use. You have no idea where you caught it, do you? Almost had a Feebas. And he just sulks. He feels a little bad. As the swimmer says, oh well, I'll just have to get over this setback and start over. Don't worry, it's not your fault. Ray comes up saying, the swimmer says, what? Ruby says, I prefer Pokemon who are cute and beautiful myself, ones that I can enter in a Pokemon contest. I never imagined anyone would want an ugly Pokemon like that. The swimmer says, contest, huh? Well, that makes sense. Your Pokemon are so well groomed. The swimmer says, like you say, the Feebas isn't exactly the best looking Pokemon around, but I'm not after it because I have a thing for ugly Pokemon. It's just that I heard it was super rare and a lot of other people wanted to get their hands on it. I figure I could make some money with it. I guess that's what I get for being greedy. Ruby then pulls out the book of water Pokemon saying, I've been looking for a certain Pokemon too. I know I'll be ecstatically happy when I finally meet this Pokemon. I bet if I were just about to get a hold of this Pokemon and failed to capture it in the last minute, I'd be pretty depressed too, so I'll help you. I feel bad letting it end like this. Oh, the irony of all of this, with the two not noticing something glaring at them from the brush. Oh yeah. I completely forgot because it was in there like an afterthought. Mightyana. We then cut to the Slateport shipyard, where Gabby and Ty have entered. Gabby comes up to Captain Stern. Captain Stern questioning, who are you? Gabby says, I'm Gabby from Hoenn TV. There's something I'd like to discuss with you in private. As she looks around, she grabs him by the wrist, saying, can you spare a moment of your time? Captain starts saying, hey, wait. As they round a corner, Gabby says, I apologize for being so forward, but you were waiting for the Devon Corporation President Stone to bring a special component here. Am I right? Captain Stern says, how do you know about that? Gabby says, I know even more. President Stone was in an accident. You have no idea of the whereabouts of that component, do you? According to the news reports, President Stone was attacked by a wild Pokemon while taking a walk. Captain Stern says that is correct. Gabby tells him, but it isn't true. President Stone was attacked by 3 mysterious individuals. We were there when it happened. Captain Stern says, what? Suddenly a figure calls out, excuse me, miss. Would you mind filling me in about this incident too? As we see Norman and his Vigoroth, that is Vigoroth, right? Yep, and his Vigoroth around the corner. Gabby and Captain Stern saying, and you are? Norman has entered the chat in a plotline he has no business being in aside from his son. How wild. I hate saying it like this, but I'm already more invested in this storyline than the one with Watson. It was just too kooky. It reminds me of the earlier days of the manga, which sounds weird to say since I've only been reading it for so long, but reminds me of earlier days, and it's not a bad thing, it's just, man, that was not the plot line I needed. That was just too much. That was too much of a B story. Alright, chapter 207, On the Loose and Hyper with Zangoose and Seviper. Part 1. Ooh, we get one of my favorite Pokemon again. I'm not even gonna wait. I ain't even gonna wait. Seviper. It would be cool if Ruby got a Seviper, but I don't see it happening. That would be so cool though. Gabby questions, you're Norman, the new gym leader of Petalburg City, aren't you? Remember me, Gabby from Hoenn TV? I interviewed you the other day. She then thinks, he's investigating this case? I bet he'll help us. Isn't this fortuitous? Having a skilled gym leader on our side is even better than working with the police. Gabby says, well, we'll tell you everything we know. The Devon Corporation's president, Stone, was attacked, and the special submarine component he was transporting was stolen near Petalburg Woods. He had his cast form with him. We're taking care of it for the time being, and But Norman just pushes her to the side, glaring at her, saying, "That isn't what I want to know." And he just takes off his shirt and jumps in the water. Jesus! God, I'm not used to Norman being this intense. He seems to find a trace element of something. He gets out of the water, saying the current is flowing that way. He then accesses the control panel, Captain Stern saying, "Hey, you can't touch this equipment without permission." Norman gets a report saying he went missing right near Route 118. "I'm taking this with me." Captain Stern says it has the surveillance footage and navigational data from Submarine Explorer 1. Gabby then asks, "What are you doing here then?" Norman says, "I'm looking for my son. He ran away after we moved here. I want to track him down, and that's all." Gabby says, "So that boy is your..." And then Norman just jumps onto a freaking jet ski, saying, "Pardon the intrusion," and takes off with his vigor off. Gabby tried to chase him down, saying, "Norman!" But he's gone. Dang! Ty comes racing up, saying, "Well, that was strange." "Let it go, Gabby. We're not going to get anything out of him." But Gabby says, "You don't think so?" "I disagree." Ty questions, "How come?" Again, Gabby and Ty, so much more interesting here than any other depiction. I'm loving this. There's a few reporter characters who, in later games, get a lot more prominence. Gabby tells him, "You saw how determined he was. I'm sure he'll manage to find his son. And if we talk to that boy, he'll tell us about this mysterious organization." "Oh, no, that's Ty who says, and if we talk to that boy, he'll tell us more about the mysterious organization." Gabby says, "Exactly." Ty questions, "Do we really need to talk to him, though? We already met members of the organization. We even know they're called Team Aqua." Gabby says, "Team Aqua is related to the incident with President Stone. I don't think this is the same group." Ooh, Gabby's good. Ty questions, "What? Why?" Gabby explains, "The group we saw in Petalburg Forest were wearing blue uniforms. And the group that attacked the shipyard and stole the submarine were wearing red uniforms." Ty says, "Whoa, you mean there are two different organizations behind all this?" And Gabby gives a nod. "Yep." "Oh, okay, night has fallen over by where Ruby and the swimmer are." Swimmer says, "No luck at all. Night has fallen." Ruby says, "Yeah." Suddenly there's a rustling in the brush. Swimmer says, "Huh? What's that?" As we see a Zangoose come moving out of the brush. Ruby and the swimmer hide. Ruby saying, "There's something in that bush. Get down." Zangoose makes his way and it's revealed. The swimmer saying, "Whoa, it's a Zangoose. Freaky." Ruby says, "Shh, quiet. It hasn't noticed us yet." The swimmer says, "Really? Then why did it come out?" Ruby goes, But then there's another rustling. As we see none other than Sir Viper come out of the brush this time too. Ruby saying, "There's a Sir Viper on the other side of the river." Oh, and they're ready to face off. Here it is. I love this rivalry. The swimmer says, "Wow, a Zangoose and a Sir Viper together." And Ruby gets out his Pokédex. Zangoose, the cat ferret Pokemon. Memories of battles and its battling its arch rival Sir Viper are etched into every cell of Zangoose's body. The Pokemon adroitly dodges attacks with incredible speed. And Seviper, the Fang Snake Pokemon. Seviper shares a generational-long feud with Zangoose. The scars of its body are evidence of the vicious battles. This Pokemon attacks using its sword-edged tail. Swimmer says, "It's a duel!" And Seviper goes in with its tail. Zangoose manages to block with its claws. It grabs Seviper by the tail and pulls it in. Seviper goes in with its fangs, but Zangoose manages to, knock it off course with its claws. As the fierce battle rages on, the swimmer hiding behind the rocks says, "Yikes, those two are focused on their..." No, Ruby says those two are focused on their battle. You better slip away while they're occupied. They do the little army shimmy out of there, but the swimmer notices a pull at the line. He goes for it, shouting, "Hey, you got something on your line!" While Ruby says, "Stop, they'll see us!" And it's too late. As the Viper and Zangoose turn to them, they then disregard their feud and go chasing the two of them down. Ruby saying, "Too late!" Ruby and the runner take off with the other Pokemon following. The Ruby saying, "You don't want to fight us, you want to fight each other. Don't let us get in your way." Swimmer says, "It's no use. We interrupt their special battle." Ruby says, "Uh-oh, which way should we run? Map? What? My Pokénav is gone." The swimmer then reaches into Ruby's bag saying, hey, use your Pokemon to lose those two. Ruby and the swimmer get into a fight as Ruby says, no way, you do it. Oh, geez. The Pokeballs come out of Ruby's bag, and the Seviper's fangs and the Zangoose's claws pierce the Pokeballs. Oh, man, just narrowly avoiding Ruby's Pokemon as well as the swimmers. Jeez, that's kind of intense. Holy crap. Ruby shouts for his Pokemon, Nana, Kiki, Moo Moo. Well, the swimmer shouts for his Starry. Swimmer asks, what are you gonna do? While Ruby, still holding on to the fishing rod, says, what can we do? As the Zangoose and Seviper move in, suddenly there's a tug at Ruby's line, and then Feebas comes out with the Pokénav. The swimmer says, look. Ruby says, the Feebas, and it has my Pokénav. The swimmer says, you must have dropped it in the river when we fell over, and the Feebas brought it back to you. Ruby questions, but why? No, the Zangoose and the Seviper move in, much to the shock of Ruby and the swimmer, with the swimmer shouting, we're done for! As Feebas jumps out of the water into Ruby's arms with the Pokénav, and then, much to the shock of Ruby and the swimmer, just as Seviper and Zangoose go in for the strike, Feebas begins to glow. Wild stuff is happening here. There's a lot happening in these chapters. Thank you. Oh, thank you so much. Okay, Ruby has taken such a massive detour. He just worked his way around a whole big old area. Again, Ruby's travels are the wildest thing possible. It makes sense that Sapphire would be the most straightforward, but man, Ruby's is all over the place. So Sapphire is on Route 111 outside of New Mauville. Actually, quite a ways away from New Mauville. Yeah. Well, Ruby, God, they're so far away from each other now. Actually, no, they're actually in pretty close proximity, all things considered, as Ruby is on Route 119 now. Alright, and now the last chapter of this video. Chapter 208, On the Loose and Hyper with Zangoose and Seviper, Part 2. Alright, as Zangoose and Seviper going on the attack, they're suddenly blocked as... Wait, did Feebas just put up a light screen? Yeah. Oh, I thought it was evolving. Oh well, good enough. Much to the shock of Ruby and the swimmer says, light screen? Is the Feebas doing that? As it manages to hold off Zangoose and Seviper, the Feebas then does something to the light screen, much to the shock of Ruby as well as the Pokemon. It shatters the Seviper's fangs and the Zangoose's claws. The swimmer says, now it's using Mirror Coat. Yeah, it utterly destroys Seviper's fangs and the Zangoose's claws. Dang, that's a strong Feebas. And it also causes all of the Pokemon who are in the balls that got impaled to be released. That's lucky. I guess that shows what happens when a Pokeball is actually destroyed. I'm actually glad for that, because any other way I'd be like, okay, I don't think that should work like that. And if you destroy the button we've seen, that throws everything off. But if it shatters, that releases the Pokemon. As I feel like it should. Otherwise, just having them lost forever would be weird. Ruby and the swimmer are overjoyed to see their Pokemon safe. And as Ruby pulls out the Pokénav, he says, now's our chance. Let's make a run for it. The swimmer says, run for it? Where to? Ruby says, just follow me, as they head into the brush. Seviper and the Zangoose, undaunted by what has just happened, they chase. And they still go in for the strikes, but they hit nothing but brush and trees. Looking around, they don't find Ruby and the swimmer, and then they just make their way off. It's funny, they have actively became a team just to take out those two. As Ruby and the swimmer watch from a secret base? Or is it a building? Huh. Where did they end up? Regardless, they watch from a window. The swimmer saying, that was close. Did you know there was a building here? Ruby says, I sure did, thanks to my Pokénav. The swimmer says, thanks to your Pokénav. Ruby says, what's wrong? The swimmer points, Feebas. You ought to be thanking Feebas. While Ruby freaks out saying, why is it still hanging around? But the swimmer says, it came to deliver the Pokénav you dropped into the river. It must like you. And it's not just the Pokénav. Think about the moves it used. Light screen to block the attack, then Mirror Coat to double the damage and repel it back at them? That isn't something you see every day, you know? All that to help us. The only reason we're still standing is because of this Feebas. Man, the swimmer's putting in that org. He's just like, no, you thank that Pokemon. You thank that Pokemon. We are only alive because of it. Ruby says, you're right, but what exactly should I do about it? The swimmer says, isn't it obvious? Take that Feebas with you. Which, again, is saying something. He's just like, look, this thing loves you. And it helped us out immensely. Take care of this thing. I actually love this swimmer. He's just like, no, this thing saved our bacon a million times over. You help this thing out. It loves you. Cherish it. But Ruby recoils, saying, huh? No way. The sword says, don't contradict me. But Ruby motions the Feebas over to the sword, saying, but it's not a beautiful Pokemon, not one bit. Yeah, I know. You take it. You wanted the Pokemon to begin with. Well, now it's all yours. The swimmer says, nah, rather see how fond of you that Feebas is. I can't let my greed keep you two apart. Ruby, he laments this. Meanwhile, the swimmer thinks, looks like this is the start of a beautiful relationship. Well, maybe not beautiful. I wouldn't make much selling a one Feebas anyway. But once this kid gets attached to the Feebas, I'll convince him to breed them for me. I'll start a Feebas farm. I'm a genius. Oh, man. He just laughs to himself while Ruby, he looks to his Mariana and Delcatty, and he's just like, they're so flashy. And then he looks to Marshtomp and the Feebas, and he feels like, gloomy. Ruby thinks to herself, no, my team is getting farther and farther away from the dream team I imagined, especially because of these two. Ruby, you're such a tool. The sword then says, well, as a Pokemon trainer, how can you turn your back on a Pokemon who likes you so much? Ruby says, fine. He then thinks, I'll take the Pokemon for now and release it later somewhere. Ruby, you're such a tool. I love this. I love the setup for all this. The irony. Ruby then looks back out the window saying, where are we anyway? He reads the sign on the door saying, Weather Institute, which, Weather Institute? Yeah, there's a place called the Weather Institute. There's a lot of involvement of Team Magma and Team Aqua here. Okay, kind of spoiled myself on that one, but I don't understand why. I don't know why. Why are they involved here? Okay, I'm interested to see where this goes. Alright, Ruby says, so this is where we ended up after running away from Zangoose and Seviper. This place is deserted. The swimmer says it's because it's nighttime. I've heard machines record the meteorological data. Suddenly a Pokeblock comes rolling out. Marshtomp sees this and goes eating it. Someone's leading him. And Marshtomp keeps eating the Pokeblocks and making its way up the stairs to the roof. Swimmer says, it's raining. Well, I guess we'll just have to shelter here for the night. Ruby says, hey, where's Moo? Moo! And he goes outstairs and sees the remains of a Pokeblock. He follows saying, a Pokeblock? Tons of them, now blended to match Moo's taste preferences, just like the Pokeblocks I made. A voice calls out, they are the Pokeblocks you made. You dropped them when you were running around the shipyard at Slateport, remember? I picked them up. Oh, God. As in the rain, Norman is looming over his son. That is so intense. God damn. Why is this more intense than if it was like Archie or Maxie? Jeez. Ruby slowly turns, questioning, how did you know? Norman tells him, never underestimate your parents. We know you better than you realize. The swimmer makes his way out saying, hey, who are you talking to? It's kind of dark and spooky in here. Don't leave me alone. And suddenly, jeez. The swimmer's taken off guard as Ruby is slammed against the wall. God damn. The child abuse. Ruby says, saved by the thunderclap. The swimmer asks, what's going on? Hey, what's going on? Ruby, he wipes a bruise from his lip, saying, it's kind of hard to explain at the moment. One thing I'm sure of is that they're about to get involved in the biggest family squabble in the world. As we see Norman at the top of the stairs in silhouette as thunder rumbles. It's like he's bringing Dio Brando. What the hell? I wasn't expecting it to be this intense. Oh, man. what a wild place to end. Oh, dang. Actually kind of sorry I'm ending it here. Holy, like he's about to kill his son. Or just, like, pound some lessons into his son's head. Like, dang. Oh, man, the days of child abuse. The days of child abuse. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I love Sapphire stuff for the most part, but man, the stuff with Ruby is just far and away the most interesting stuff. From him finding a Feebas of all things and being forced to take it, which is the only way he'd obtain it. Oh man, I see the lesson forming on that one. And then to just up and encounter Norman. And the encounter with Team Magma was already kind of interesting, but this, there's such an interesting string of coincidences. It's always been there for a lot of the trainers, but man, it is wild in this one. This story arc be wild. I'll tell you that much. It's just some wild stuff, but I can't wait for the next one. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the ride. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din, and hope to see you later. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.